Hello everybody, welcome. It's Juliet here. Happy Saturday. So today we are going to learn how to make this earring portion down here. All of the supplies except for the earring top and the jump ring, those came out of my own personal stash, but the rest of the supplies that I used came out of the October treasure box called Lavender Latte from Potomac Beads. So if you're interested in more info about that, I'll put that down below for you. And I'll also link any materials that I can find. I don't think they have this earring finding at Potomac Beads. I actually don't know where I got that. This has been in my stash for a while. So I'm sorry I can't help you with that at all. I have no idea. However, the rest of these materials down here are definitely all available, and you can put any kind of earring top that you like. So I will quickly run through the materials that we're going to use to make this earring. So as I said, they are all included in the treasure box for this month. So if you have the treasure box, you're good to go. All right, so first of all, we need some 2mm pearls, and these are the cream rose. Okay, so I'll put a link for that. They definitely have those in stock, at least they did when I checked yesterday. We are going to be using some of the Athenacast halos for the diamonds. So this is basically for diamond duos and gem duos, okay? The color that we got is the copper, antique copper color in our treasure box. So you're going to need 4 per earring of those, okay? We have also got here some Miyuki seed beads in this vintage copper color, and I just love these seed beads. These are a great color. Just really like them. They seem a little bit different shape than a normal 8.0 as well, but that could just be me, but they just seem really nice. We have 2 SuperDuos here, which again, if you got your pack, we got a pack of SuperDuos called October Mix, and I just picked out these kind of bronze colored ones here. You could probably just purchase those on their own, and if you can, I'll link that down below as well. Okay, so I'll put that. I know you can't get the mix, but I'll try and find out what color this is, and I'll link those in case you need that. Then here I have some 4mm crystal bicones. These are Tanzanite AB, okay? And I mean, obviously you can change any of the colors here that I'm using up to the way you want it. I have a Czech drop here that came out of, sorry, try and get all this out of the way a little bit, came out of our October mix that came again in the treasure box. So I just picked out these little pink ones. I thought they looked quite sweet with the colors that I was using. And then I have some 11.0 seed beads. These are the Azuki seed beads in vintage rose that came in our box as well. Obviously, again, you can change whatever colors you like here. You do not have to follow my scheme, okay? All right, and I am using a size 10 beading needle, and today I'm using quite a heavy thread, but you don't need to. You can use size 6 or regular size thread, and you don't need very much. Probably 2 feet is fine, okay? All right, so let's get started. So first of all, once you cut your pearls off the strand, I like to just roll them around a little bit to try and knock off some of the excess stuff that gets stuck on the thread in between them. You won't get all of it off, but you can certainly get a lot of it off. Just roll it around so that you don't have, like, see these big longer bits that are on my mat here. They get all, you know, you can just kind of get some of them off that way. Okay. All right. So go ahead, find yourself, you know, 4 inches just to leave a tail that you can weave in at the end. We're going to pick up one of our diamond halos, we're going to enter into one hole. You're going to pick up one of your 8/0 seed beads, okay, and then you're going to enter into the next hole. So you want to make sure that the two holes that you're going through are on the same side, okay, so it should look like this. If you want, you can put on a stop bead at this point if it's going to help you. I just personally hold my own tail, but you know, you might want to put on a stop bead, okay? And then we're going to pick up another 8/0 and just push it down next to the shape there, okay? And then we're going to repeat this again. So we're going to pick up our next shape. You're going to go through one hole. You're going to pick up an 8/0 and you're going to go through another hole. And just push that one down next to the other one like this, okay? Pick up again an 8/0. And we're going to add one more. So go ahead, go through one of the holes, go through the next hole, and push that all down. So you should have this, okay? Now we're going to pick up one of our Bicones, one of our SuperDuos, and one Bicone. So these are 4mm. Okay, go ahead, push down. And then we're going to repeat the same thing with our last shape here, halo. We're going to pick up the halo, we're going to pick up an 8/0, go through the other hole of the halo, okay, and that's going to sit up here at the top, and then we're going to pick up a Bicone, a SuperDuo, and a Bicone, okay, and we're going to pass through all of the beads and halos on the bottom row. And you don't have to do it all in one shot, you know, you can take your time and go through all the different ones, but you want to come out from the far side of those bottom halos, okay? And when you pull this, you're going to have a ring like this. So now is the time you can, if you need to adjust your tail a little bit, you can do that now and get your tail the right length. Okay, so it should now look like this, and your tail is coming out one side and your working thread is coming out the other side. Okay, and what I do is I just hold my tail while I'm working. Okay, so we're going to pick up 3 of our 11/0 seed beads. We're going to go into the bottom hole of the same halo that we're coming out from. Okay, so you should have 3 beads on the side like this. You're going to pick up one of your 2mm pearls, and they can be a little bit hard to find the hole, so okay, and you're going to sew through the 8/0 that is inside that halo. So we're working from where we came through there, okay, and then you're going to pick up another pearl, and you're going to go down into this lower hole of the halo. So like this, okay? So you should have this. Then we're going to pick up a seed bead, 11/0, a bicone, and another 11/0. you're going to go into the next halo over the lower hole, like this. And then we're going to pick up a 2mm pearl. So we're going to do the same thing that we did in the previous halo. Just trying to pick up one, hang on. You're going to sew through the 8/0. Okay, you're going to pick up another pearl and you're going to sew out from that lower hole of the halo, like this. You're going to pick up seed bead, bicone, seed bead. You're going to sew through the lower hole of the next halo and you're going to repeat adding your 2 pearls in. So just sew through that 8/0 and out the bottom hole. Okay, so it should now look like this, and you're coming out the bottom hole right here. Okay, so once you're coming out from the same side here, we need to add our 3 seed beads the same as what we have on this side. So go ahead, pick up 3 seed beads, and then you're going to pass through until you come out. You're going to pass all the way through here until you come out from this 8/0 right here. Okay, so pass through, and then when you get here, don't come out here, just come out from this 8/0. Okay, and if your top is loose, just pull on your tail there and that'll keep your top from getting too loose, okay? All right, so you should be coming out from the 8/0 right here. You're going to go ahead, go down into that pearl, the far pearl, and then we're going to come out, we're going to come down through this pearl through here and up the first 2 seed beads right here. So we want to come out over here, okay? Okay, so it can be a little difficult with the angle there, but just do your best. And when you are coming out from the second bead right here, we are going to pick up 2 seed beads and 1 pearl, okay? So 2 and 1, and you're going to go into the outer hole of that SuperDuo that's up above like this, okay? So it should look like this. So you should have 1 that you didn't go into at the top here. Okay, we only came up 2 and we added 2. All right, and then we're going to pick up 1 more pearl and we're going to pick up 4 seed beads. You're going to go into the upper hole of this halo. Okay, so like this. And then we're going to add our pearls just like we did down below. So you're going to pick up a pearl. You're going to go through the 8/0 that is there. You're going to pick up another pearl. You're going to go out the upper hole. Okay, so it should look like this. So now we're going to repeat what's on this side. So we're going to pick up 4 seed beads and 1 pearl. Okay, you're going to go through the SuperDuo, the outside hole of that SuperDuo. like this. And then here you're going to pick up a pearl and 2 seed beads. You're going to go down the 2 seed beads on the side right here. So skip that first seed bead and just go down the lower 2. Okay. Okay, so now it should look like this. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add on our little drop at the bottom. So as you can see here, we have some extra beads just at the bottom there. Okay, so to do that, we're going to go through our halo. You're going to go up through the pearl, through your 8-0 and down through this pearl and come out right here. Okay, so we're going to go up, through, down. Okay. Okay, so once we're coming out here, we're going to go through the 3 beads right here. So you're going to go ahead, pass through the seed bead, the bicone, and the seed bead. And once you're coming out from the seed bead closest to the middle halo, you're going to pick up a pearl, an 8-0, your drop, another 8-0, and a pearl. Okay, so you have pearl, 8-0, drop, 8-0, pearl. We're just going to sew straight from here over to this group here. So go ahead and sew through those. Okay, so that is now the design complete. What I like to do here is I'm going to sew around until I meet up with my starting thread. So if you did put a stop bead, you're going to want to pull it off in a second. So to get over there, you're going to go up through the end halo and the pearl. Okay. Go through the 8-0 and then you can pass around the inside Bicones and SuperDuos. Just pass around the inner ring of your earring. And it's kind of good to reinforce that anyway because it wasn't tight, it's probably, you know, a little bit loose. It could use running through. Plus with the crystals, you know, you want to make sure that those aren't going to cut your thread or anything, so it's good to have an extra thread running through that circle there. Okay, and when you come out the last bicone here, come out on the back. I'm going to just flip over, and here is your starting thread. Okay, so you can just tie a knot with your starting thread and then weave in your ends. And I just sew one up through the bicones and cut it off, and the other one I go down through these beads here. Oops, I accidentally didn't quite make it through the halo there. that's okay. That can be the back. Make sure when you are doing this that you are actually going through the halo. You'll don't do the same thing I did. It's hard to tell because you're looking at the front and you're not really looking at the back, and you think you're going through it and then you're not. That's okay. No one will notice. Okay, and then my other tail, I'm just going to weave through here. So I'll come back once I have finished doing that. Okay, so I got my thread cut off, and I will probably cut this apart and remake it because I'm a perfectionist, but for the sake of this video, we'll pretend that I already did that, okay? So now all you have to do is get some pliers, and with your jump ring, you can just twist it open and pop on your earring finding. And if you want to use a different type of earring, you know, maybe like one of the sort of huggy style earrings or something like that, you can do that as well. You know, there's quite a nice space here for you to use it. So use a bigger, you know, bigger earring if you need to, you can. What I'm saying is there's enough space in this finding that you can do that. Okay, so here they are, and I just love how these came out, and I love the color scheme. It's so feminine, and like purples and pinks and copper is just my favorite. Absolute love these. These are great. I am totally keeping these for myself. Anyway, okay guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this, and I will be catching up with all my videos. I've been a little bit behind, so I think I've told you before, I'm doing the Battle of the Beadsmith, and the deadline is coming up in like 2 weeks, or maybe less than that. So it's like crunch time trying to finish that. So that's part of the reason that my schedule has been off, but also because we've been having some work done and it's been really noisy with machinery and stuff. That is now done. So I will be able to get back kind of on a regular filming schedule, but I'm trying to finish this project, so it's just time at the moment. However, regular schedule will commence soon, okay, in the next week or two. All right, so let me know if you make these. I would love to see if you make them in a different color. I'm very curious how that would look. Okay, take care, bye.